Good morning. It's about 5:30 in the morning on Monday, the 17th of March 2025, and you join me on a bus heading through the seaside town of Blythe to attend the opening and hopefully ride the first train out of Britain's newest station at Newsham. So let's see how it goes.
Newsham is the latest addition to the Northumberland line, a £300 million programme to reintroduce rail services to 90,000 people on what was previously a freight-only line. It's one of two stations which will serve the town of Blythe, with the other being Bebbside, expected to open later this year. Speaking of which, the line has a total of 6 stations. Ashington and Seaton Delaval opened on the 15th of December 2024 and have now been joined by Newsham. Looking ahead, 3 more stations are expected to open at Bedlington, Blythe Bebbside and Northumberland Park, with the latter providing an interchange with the Tyne and Wear Metro.
Okay, thank you. Alright, so I guess the actual bus stop for the station hasn't opened up yet, although it physically should have been built, so we'll be able to take a look at it. But I can see the station just over there. It's not far from where the bus has dropped me. You know, for a station that's supposedly just opened, it still looks a hell of a lot like a construction site. Look at all this. There's still diggers and hoardings and whatever it's called. It's too early in the morning, I can't think properly. Alright, so just walking through the car park now. Gonna try and get myself a ticket. Oh, there we go, they've got a special message on the departure board. Welcome to your new Newsham station. So you've got the first ever ticket, 001. That's really cool. And you're saying that's because you helped install the machine, right?
Well, I didn't help install it, I was here.
Oh, okay. Very nice, very nice. Well, there you go. That is the first ever ticket from the ticket machine here at Newsham. Right. Let's have a little wander onto the platforms, shall we? Of course, it's important to remember that whilst we think of this as being a new railway, it's been carrying freight trains for many, many years now. You know, even after it was supposedly closed, it still carried freight trains, so that's one of them. So the reopening is really just for passenger trains. That train's just doing what it's always done. So wandering the platform, you can see there's stairs there and ramps up there. So there's entrances all the way along, and of course this new bridge. We'll talk more about the bridge a little later probably, but basically they've built a £30 million bridge over the railway here, over the station, in order to replace a level crossing, which is just back there, which we'll also have a proper look at later. But wandering along the platform, yeah, it's kind of what you'd expect, fairly basic facilities, you know, waiting shelters, signs, lampposts. It's what you'd expect, really. So I can't be bothered to have a full explore of the station now, so we'll wait for the first train to arrive and catch a ride. Alright, so now we're on. Only going one stop to Seaton Delaval, so we're not on for that long, but yeah, it's nice to be on a nice warm train because the platform was a little cold.
Pulling out of the station, you can see the double tracking that's been installed as part of the upgrading of this line. Previously, the double track section started immediately south of the level crossing where the platforms are now, but this has now been extended south by about a mile.
Alright, so we're back at Seaton Delaval. Is anyone else getting a bit of deja vu? Right, let's see this train out. Okay, so with that train heading out behind me, I'm going to head straight to the waiting shelter where we'll hang out for a bit and catch a train going back towards Newsham, where we'll explore the station properly. I have to say, it's quite nice to see Seaton Delaval during the day. I can actually sort of see all these houses, and is that a church behind me? Which I couldn't before because it was all dark and dreary. But my train to Newsham is pulling in now, so let's go check it out.
Ashington. The next station stop is Newsham.
Alright, so now I've been on both the first and second train to serve Newsham station. I'm going to watch it head out and then we'll have a look around the station. Alright, so I'm going to start my tour from this far end of the station. You can sort of see all the platforms behind me. I'm just going to look at this platform because actually that platform seems to be basically identical. Just a mirror image, you know? So, there's ramps going down towards the car park, as well as smart card scanners. So you've got that ramp there with signage, CCTV, station name boards, empty poster slots, platform number, waiting shelter. This is where I go on my usual rant about how everyone hates these bus stop shelters, but at least it's there. Bench, more lighting, departure screens, stairs going down, another smart card scanner. We're under the bridge here. Slot for a bin, but there isn't one yet. Bench, another waiting shelter, and then here we have a hearing loop and a help point. Steps, ramp, smart card scanner, and then you're through into the car park where there's also the bridge over the line. So coming down here, signage, the lifts and the bridge, which we'll check out in a moment, departure screens, and ticket machine. It's basically just a mirror image of the other platform, which, if you recall, we sort of got a chance to check out earlier. Now, there is also this car park. There's still a lot of construction work going on here, so clearly it's not completely finished yet.
At first, I thought this car park on the western side of the station was just for EVs and disabled parking, as well as a taxi and drop-off area. But closer inspection revealed that there is a larger car park, but it's still closed off behind construction fences, and seems to be mostly being used by the workers still completing the station.
But presumably it will be part of the main car park. In total there'll be 114 parking spaces, split across both sides of the station. I'm just walking down now to have a look at where the level crossing and the signal box were before they were removed. You can see there, if I pull up a side-by-side shot, is where the signal box used to be, and then here is where there used to be the level crossing. And indeed, by the looks of things, there still is physically a level crossing there, but it's all shut up now and you can't actually go across. But that's where it was. So obviously the level crossing has been replaced by this massive road bridge behind me, but it's also somewhat been replaced by this new passenger footbridge. So let's check it out. Oh wow, you can really get quite close to the tracks here. Alright, so heading up the bridge, you can see the little thing saying platform 1 this way. It's quite a wide bridge, perhaps slightly wider than I'm used to. You know, whilst you're on the bridge, you get quite a good view across over there. And on the other side you can see the sea as well. Unfortunately the sides are kind of too high for me to see over, but I think I can shove my camera over. Just notice this as well. So as well as the signs pointing you across, they've got a braille strip as well, which is pretty cool. And there's also braille strips on these little things telling you where the stairs are leading. Alright, and now to head down on the other side, we'll try out the lift, establish it works.
Doors opening. Doors closing.
I feel like I'm reciting off a script because I say the same thing at every station I go to, but it's a standard Stanner lift like you get at all the stations, and
Exit level.
it seems to work. So the door's going to open behind me,
Doors opening.
and I'm going to head out. So the other thing on this side of the station, which I haven't spoken about yet, is this cycle storage area here. Now I'm told this is just a temporary cycle storage area, whilst there's, you know, various works still ongoing here, as we can see. But it's good that there is some provision made for cyclists. But apparently, once it's complete, it will be a bigger sort of double-decker cycle storage rack, like you see at the other stations on the Northumberland line. I'll insert a shot now. So that's what you can expect it to look like just behind me here. The other thing is that they've started installing the posters now. So if you remember, this was blank earlier. They've started installing the posters now. But I've overheard them saying that they don't have any timetables, which is, I'll try not to laugh, that's quite funny. That they've come with all these posters but no timetables. Like, that's quite important. And then here we've got space for taxis and drop off, and then the bus stop. I was talking earlier about how the shelters on the platforms are literally bus stop shelters, but here the bus stop shelter is literally a bus stop shelter. But unfortunately there's nothing stopping here at this moment. I was speaking to some of the staff earlier. They were saying hopefully, you know, that they're talking with the bus company, and hopefully buses will start stopping here within the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, it's not actually that far to the nearest bus stop anyway. You saw me do the walk earlier in the video. Plus there's also a bus stop on the sort of west side of the station over there for the X10. Again, that's not a station stop, but there is a bus stop there that's definitely within walking distance. So yeah, even though the station itself isn't terribly close to the town centre, there are these bus links that will hopefully make it a bit easier to get off the trains and into the town centre. And finally, looking around the car park, you can see it's fairly large. Here we've got more disabled parking spaces, so they're not just on that side as I thought earlier. And then, as at the other two stations, they've given me my own parking space specifically for Michael C. That's definitely what that is. Right, hello, I'm speaking to Paul Henry, the programme manager for the Northumberland line at Northern. What's your initial reaction, I guess, to the station's opening and the sort of benefits this will have for the local area?
It's been huge. Obviously we got the first two over the line in December, and we've seen really positive feedback, and you know we're in excess of 150,000 journeys already before we've even opened Newsham, and that's just going to get added to it. So the benefit to the local people is absolutely massive, you know, connecting them into Newcastle for work, leisure, and you know, opportunities like that. So yeah, it's been really positive. This is a huge scheme. You know, 60 years this line has been closed to passengers, so you know, the fact that we've managed to bring that back and allow people the chance to use the line, and you know, increase the connectivity and all that, you know, it's been really positive, and you know, we're really looking forward to seeing more customers through Newsham today.
That's great to hear. So you spoke about the other stations which obviously opened in December. This station was, I believe, meant to open at the same time as them. Obviously it's been pushed back until now. What sort of caused the delay, do you know?
Just finally getting the finishing touches of the station. Obviously you'll see from wandering around that there's still a little bit of work to do off the station as well. We're obviously connected to the road bridge and the road network just beyond the west car park there. So we just got to make sure that everything is 100% ready for passengers and it's safe to open. So that was just the delay that we're seeing from December initially.
Okay, well, I guess finally, the question everybody wants to know, 3 more stations are still set to open on this line. Do we have any idea when they're opening? And when they do open, will they all open in one go, a bit like this was meant to with Ashington and Seaton Delaval, or will they be staggered?
They're likely to be staggered, so we'll see Bradweb side being the first of the next 3. That will be back end of the summer, and then as soon as we've got a position to be able to open Bedlington and Northumberland Park, we'll do that. If they become at the same time, we'll wait and see how the construction goes. Obviously we want to get them open as soon as possible. We're working very closely with Northumberland County Council and their contractor Morgan Sindall to make sure that when they are ready, we can open them as soon as we can.
Okay, so it's a little later in the day. I just went into town to go and have some breakfast at my hotel. It's about 11:30 now, and all the suits have arrived, as well as the coach actually using the bus bay, which is cool to see, for the official opening ceremony. Alright, so we're just waiting for it to all kick off, but look who I've bumped into.
Hello, morning. I'm not filming, so instead I'm just going to cameo in everyone else's videos.
You're just here for the vibes.
I'm here for the vibes, purely.
I love that. Well,
Yeah.
what do you think of the station so far?
Well, it's in the name, Newsham. It's
Yeah,
a new
the
station.
new Newsham station.
The new Newsham station.
Yeah, and it's going to be in the news.
Yep.
With the press here.
Newsham.
Yeah, the new.
All the puns. I like the closed level crossing. I've not seen
Yeah.
in action before. So they've built a new bypass over here, haven't they?
Yes,
So,
just up
yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's a nice
Good
station.
stuff.
Anyway, nice to see you.
New stations are great. Nice to see you as well.
And so it's time for the opening ceremony, with a speech from Glenn Sanderson, the leader of Northumberland County Council.
Thank you very much for coming today to this extraordinary opening of this incredible achievement. It's 70 years since passengers last used this line, and it's 70 years since Newcastle United last won a trophy. So we can be doubly happy today for that great achievement. This is a tremendous achievement, not just for the county, not just for the region, but nationally. This is a huge achievement, and I'm really deeply grateful to everybody that's been involved. But it hasn't been easy. At the beginning, for example, COVID, and then inflation, and then unexploded bombs, and archaeology, and mines that weren't supposed to be there, and rubbish tips that weren't supposed to be there. And the proof has been in the pudding that this commitment has paid off, because there have been over 135,000 journeys that have taken place in just 3 months. So altogether, it is a great success. And I think the key part about this success is the fact that it is a very quick service, it is a very regular service, and therefore is being used a lot.
And once the speech is concluded, it was time to do the ribbon cutting.
So if you like, 1, 2, 3. Now? Yeah, go for it.
Yay!
And with that, the station is officially open. So all that remains for me to do now is the outro.
Alright, so I think that just about concludes my visit to the new Newsham station. I'm off on this train now to head home, but I hope you've all enjoyed watching me. There's about to be things appearing on your screen that you can click on if you feel so inclined, but otherwise, I'm going to say thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.